Ever heard of a sleeper car? It's the unassuming ride that looks ordinary but packs a hidden punch. Today we're diving into the 70s, an era of big hair, bell-bottoms, and ridiculously fast undercover machines. Here are 10 of the sneakiest sleepers you've probably never heard of. First up, the 1970 Plymouth Fury GT. Now, the regular Fury was your grandpa's comfy cruiser, but the GT, that was a different beast. This thing packed a massive 440 cubic inch 6-barrel V8 engine. We're talking 3 2-barrel carburetors, pushing out a whopping 390 horsepower and 490 pounds per foot of torque. For a car this size, that was insane. It could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 7 seconds and reach a top speed of roughly 125 miles per hour. Plymouth didn't just slap a big engine in it though. They gave it heavy-duty suspension and bigger brakes to handle all that power. Because these were so rare and powerful, you don't see them a lot and they're a real head-turner when you do. Only 666 of these beasts ever rolled off the assembly line, making them unicorns today. And while the Fury GT had brute force under the hood, the interior was surprisingly refined. Think plush bucket seats, wood grain accents, and a surprisingly comfortable ride. Until you floored it, of course. This is a sleeper that definitely roared. Moving on from that beast, let's shrink things down a bit. Next, we've got the 1970 AMC Gremlin X. Yes, the Gremlin. It looks like a hatchback that got squished in the back, but that's part of its charm. The X version could be ordered with a 304 cubic inch V8 engine, making 150 horsepower and 245 pounds per foot of torque. Now, that might not sound like much today, but this little guy only weighed around 2,700 pounds. That power-to-weight ratio meant it could really move. It could do 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 8.5 seconds, faster than some modern compact SUVs today. And it had a top speed of about 105 miles per hour. It had a short wheelbase and that funky design, making it both weird and kinda cool. Most people wouldn't expect a Gremlin to be quick, and that's what made the X a true sleeper. The Gremlin X was also one of the most affordable ways to get a V8 back then, costing just $2,200 or about $17,000 today. But cheap thrills came at a cost. This little rocket wasn't exactly fuel efficient, thanks to its small gas tank and big appetite for speed. Let's check out the 1971 Javelin AMX. This was AMC throwing punches at the Mustang and Camaro, right where it hurt. The AMX version came with a monster 401 cubic inch 6.6 liter V8, cranking out 330 horsepower and 430 pounds per foot of torque. This thing could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 6.8 seconds and hit a top speed near 120 miles per hour. Fast for back then. What's cool is the dashboard. It's wrapped around the driver like you're in a spaceship. It looked awesome and had all the gauges you needed right in front of you. The Javelin AMX had the power and the looks to go head-to-head with the big boys. Let's keep rolling with AMC, but this time with a more unconventional choice. This was a mid-size coupe, and you can get it with that same 401 cubic inch 6.6 liter V8, though it made 235 horsepower and 345 pounds per foot of torque in this one. Even with its size, the Matador X handled pretty well, according to people who drove them back in the day, with a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of around 8 seconds and a top speed of about 115 miles per hour. It had a unique look with a long hood and a short back end. It definitely stood out from the crowd. The Matador X was fast and it looked different, a perfect combo for a sleeper. Now let's switch gears and head over to the Dodge camp. The 1976 Aspen RT. This was a compact car, but the RT, which stands for Road Track version, was special. It could be ordered with a 360 cubic inch 5.9 liter V8, making 170 horsepower and 280 pounds per foot of torque. The Aspen RT weighed around 3,200 pounds, so it had decent get up and go. It could reach 0 to 60 miles per hour in roughly 9 seconds with a top speed of around 110 miles per hour. The RT package gave it better suspension, with sway bars in the front and back and some cool stripes on the outside. It looked like a regular car, but it had some hidden muscle. From Dodge, we'll move to another American classic, Ford. The 1977 Maverick Grabber. Another compact, but this one could be equipped with a 302 cubic inch 5.0 liter V8, producing 140 horsepower and 235 pounds per foot of torque. The Maverick Grabber weighed about 2,800 pounds, making it pretty quick for its size. It had a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of around 9.5 seconds and a top speed near 105 miles per hour. The Grabber package added some sporty touches like special mirrors, stripes, and a nicer interior. It didn't scream fast car, but that V8 gave it a surprise punch. Staying in the compact realm, let's see what Chevy had up its sleeve. Next up, the 1978 Chevrolet Nova SS. The Nova was a pretty common car, but the SS or Super Sport version was the one to get. It could have a 350 cubic inch V8, making 170 horsepower and 270 pounds per foot of torque. The Nova SS weighed around 3,300 pounds, giving it good acceleration and handling. It could hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 8.5 seconds and reach a top speed of approximately 110 miles per hour. The SS package gave it better suspension, power brakes, and some special styling. It looked simple, but it could definitely hold its own. Chevy made sure it wasn't just about straight-line speed. The Nova SS came with front disc brakes standard, a performance boost at a time when most cars still had drum brakes. And for those who wanted better launches, some versions came with a posi traction rear differential, putting the power down more effectively. Now for something a bit different, a touch of European flair. Let's get a little turbo action with the 1979 Mercury Capri RS. This one could be equipped with a turbocharged 2.3-liter inline-4 engine, making 131 horsepower and 142 pounds per foot of torque. The Capri RS weighed around 2,700 pounds, so that turbo gave it a nice boost. It could sprint to 60 miles per hour in about 9 seconds and had a top speed of around 105 miles per hour. The RS package added sport-tuned suspension, cool graphics, and a sportier interior. A turbo 4-cylinder in a small car? That was pretty unusual back then, and it made the Capri RS a sneaky fast ride. This little turbo was actually a glimpse into the future. Ford later used a similar setup in the legendary Mustang SVO of the 1980s. Plus, it rode on the Fox body platform, which would go on to define muscle cars for years to come. But why were these cars even made with these big engines if they looked so ordinary? Did the car companies have extra engines lying around, or was there a secret plan? Let's dig a little deeper. It turns out it wasn't just about extra parts. The 1970s were a weird time for cars. There were new rules about emissions and fuel economy. Car companies were trying to figure things out, so they take smaller, lighter cars and put in bigger engines, sometimes with tweaks to make them meet the new rules. It was a way to keep some performance alive while still playing by the rules. It also gave people a way to be a little different. Not everyone wanted a flashy muscle car. Some people wanted something that could surprise you. Back to our list, let's check out a slightly unexpected offering from Buick. Let's check out the 1975 Buick Apollo GSX. Now, Buick wasn't really known for muscle cars, but the GSX was their try at it. It could have a 350 cubic inch 5.7-liter V8, making 155 horsepower and 275 pounds per foot of torque. The Apollo GSX weighed around 3,200 pounds, so it had decent performance with a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of around 9.5 seconds and a top speed of roughly 105 miles per hour. The GSX package added sport suspension, cool stripes, and a better interior. It looked like a regular Buick, but it had a little something extra under the hood. In a way, this was Buick's last real attempt at a compact muscle car before the turbocharged Grand National took over in the 1980s. And fun fact, because it shared a chassis with the Chevy Nova, swapping parts between the two was surprisingly easy. And finally, to round things out, another compact with a hidden secret. Last but not least, the 1973 Pontiac Ventura Sprint. This was another compact that could pack a punch. It could be ordered with a 350 cubic inch 5.7-liter V8, making 200 horsepower and 295 pounds per foot of torque. The Ventura Sprint weighed about 3,100 pounds, so it was pretty lively. It could do 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 8 seconds flat, with a top speed of around 115 miles per hour. The Sprint package gave it better suspension, cool stripes, and a nicer interior. It looked pretty basic, but that V8 made it a fun little car. Now, before we end it, here's a twist that'll blow your mind. Did you know that some of these cars were actually used by police departments? That's right, the cops needed fast cars too. Imagine getting pulled over by a Gremlin or a Matador. It just goes to show you can't always judge a car by its cover. These sleepers were all about surprising people, and they did it well. So there you have it, 10 of the weirdest and most elusive 1970s sleepers. These cars might not have been the most famous, but they had their own special charm. They were quiet rebels, unassuming machines with wild hearts. And who doesn't love a good surprise? Let us know in the comments which one is your favorite, or if you've ever seen one of these rare rides in person. Like this and subscribe for more cool car stuff. And do check out our other videos on the channel. Bet you won't regret it. Catch you next time.